श्री कृष्ण हरिदेव प्रभु जी।
ओम भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नमस्ते भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरि ओम तत्सत्। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणम् परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत गुण वैष्णव की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। चल रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त की जय। Reading from Nectar of Devotion. Thank you very much for joining. Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 12, the further aspects of transcendental service. So, Nectar of Devotion has various sections. Before that, let's quickly take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 26 Ashtam, then we'll begin. This is his mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's supreme mercy to Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. So, by his mercy, Srila Prabhupada has translated into Nectar of Devotion from Bhakti Rasamrita. It's a huge ocean. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only one drop of ocean I'm giving you. You please expand it. It's inundated with, imbued with love of Krishna. So please take it forward. So Prabhupada made it much more easier so that everybody can understand without quoting the verses, but simplified it. And that's the book is a little bit different in terms of the presentation from the original book. Even these chapters, it's not divided like this in the original book. To make it easier, Prabhupada has made like this. Let's chant. Ananda Lilamaya Vigrahaya Hemavati Pichavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते, चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। अजानुलंबित भुजो कनकावदातो संकीर्तनैकपितरो कमलायतक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो, वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो। आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमावति विचविसुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमः। चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भव महादावाग्निर्वापणम् श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यापतो जीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजेते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्। नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काल एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशी हा जनिनानुराग तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना नमानि नामानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि। नदनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दतनुज किङ्करम् पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुध कृपया तव पादपङ्कजं विचिन्तया नयनं जलदश्रुधारय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिर पुलकैर्निजितं वपू नाम ग्रहणेन भविष्यति युगायुतं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायुतम् शून्यायुतं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे शून्यायुतं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे शून्यायुतं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे अश्लिषवां पादरतां पिनस्तु माम् अदर्शनां मन्महतां करोतु वा यथा तदा वातु विददातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनादस्तु सैवनापरः मत्प्राणनादस्तु सैवनापरः मत्प्राणनादस्तु सैवनापरः। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु शिक्षाष्टकम की जय। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय। So, as the nectar of devotion describes into the four, divided into four sections: eastern, southern, western, northern. So, the eastern section is described about the four as general bhakti, defining, then samanya bhakti slash, then sadhana bhakti to bhava bhakti to prema bhakti. The bhakti is divided into three aspects: devotion service and practice, devotion service and ecstasy, devotion service and pure love of Godhead. Then that is the eastern section. That's what we are in. And the southern section describes the ecstatic stage of five rasas. Even though it has more rasas, but concentratedly five rasas: Sai Bhav, Vichari Bhav, like that. That is the second southern section. And then western section describes the five primary rasas, mellows of devotion: Shantadas, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhuri. And then the fourth section, northern section, describes the nine, in general seven, but in this book it is described nine rasas of asrasa, vivasa, bhayanaka, goes on. So in this way, this book is divided into nine. Then I think last few weeks we have been discussing. So it begins with the five characteristics of pure devotion service, which has six characteristics as per it attracts Krishna. Which one? As per the sadhana bhakti has two, bhava bhakti has four, and then prema bhakti has six. The last two, especially some ecstatic concentrated bliss and attracting Krishna, is the pure devotion service. That is the most important two characteristics. So most auspicious, it removes all simple like Kesagni, Subhada, Sandrananda, Shatma. So all these aspects are there. And then it describes the further aspects. No, it describes, after describing the first, second, third, then the fourth, fifth is elaborating on these two chapters. And the sixth chapter is how to execute devotion service. One must know that this Prabhupada explains the original Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us details 64 items of devotion, 64 limbs, various sanghas about, which are three broad categories and sections. First 10 are pravrutti, the second 10 are nivrutti. What to be done, which is pravrutti first 10, and what not to be done, pravrutti given up, that is second set. And then the third set is the 44 items. In this way, 10, 10, 44, 64 items. So within that also, Islam Chakravarti Thakur is quoting and we discussed, Prabhupada is explaining that out of these 64, first 20 are like a door to understand, to enter into bhakti. Within that also, three aspects are even beginning, main key door, which are taking shelters, which Master Adha Guru Ashrayam, Vishramba Sevanam, Vishramba Guru Sevanam, Sattharma Pucha. So these are the three aspects are the real door to actually to gain entrance into or practice any of these limbs of devotion service, which is very important to actually attain perfection. So in this way, this is now the from 4th to all the way to 13 of you can say that six chapter is explaining 64 angas. Now from 7th chapter to 13, Prabhupada is taking the 64 items, explaining divided into these almost 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 8 chapters. Prabhupada divided So as per the 7 and 8 is describing first 20 characteristics. Ninth one, first item is their blasphemy, but 7 and 8 are describing pretty much first 20 items. And then from all the way from 9 to 13, Prabhupada is describing the rest of the 44 items. Some are in a, not an exact sequence. The original book, Bhakti Samrasand, it doesn't go in the exact sequence. And the chapter title is a little bit different. Prabhupada made it easier to go in a certain flow for us to understand. And so now we are in the 12th chapter. So out of those 44 items are more or less kayam karma karotiya, as Patrasas players we see that. Aham hare tava padaik moolam dasanu dasa bhavitasme bhuya manas maretasu masu pate gunamse kayam karma karot kaya. Using our body, mind, and words in the service of the Lord's devotees. Aham hare tava padai dasanu daso bhavitasme bhuya. Again and again, let me be always in the association of devotees, use of my body, my mind, my senses in their service. So that's why the last 44 items are describing, dividing into all these, how to utilize our body, mind, senses in the service of the Lord and Lord's devotees. So today's chapter, as you see, first aspect is hearing from revealed skill. Some of the aspects are so important, it comes multiple times. Whether it's serving Tulsi Marani, the hearing aspect, you'll see the association, chanting, kirtan, japa, sankirtan, many ways. Or you'll see residing in Mathura also two times it comes, living in Mathura, residing. So some of those are very important. So that's why it comes also repeatedly being discussed. Now let's see. Hearing the revealed scriptures. And we discussed in the first chapter that when we said the entrance door also, we mentioned the two verses. I don't know how many of you remember. So 284 we mentioned, and then Canto 2, chapter 8, verse number 4. Parikshit Maharaj himself is mentioning that. Srunodam Shraddhaya Nityam Grananti Swachestitam Kalena Ati Dirghena Bhagavan Visate Hudai. One who's hearing every day consistently, and you will see in today's this particular section, Prabhupada is quoting, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is quoting from 12.3.15, and that is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Sota Goswami describing the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then fourth canto, chapter 29, verse number 40, that Narada Muni is describing to King Prachin Parikshit. We are discussing that now. We are almost there in the morning class these days. We are almost in the same setting, Narada Muni to Prachin Parikshit. So in that 40 verse also very important, very elaborate purport. That is the verse, that is the purport we are going to concentrate today once we read this. But before that, this in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam itself we will see, and Bhagavad Gita also. Lord Krishna is stressing again and again. Any book you look at, Nectar construction, look at in the Paribhas Sutra, the 8th verse, Krishna clearly mentioning that it is to do with hearing, Sravana. Unless you hear Sravana has to lead to Varana Dasya regularly. Throughout the day you have to hear, not just one day. And Prabhupada has past time also had mentioned on the day that devotee means devotee attends Bhagavatam class, otherwise he is not a devotee. That's what Prabhupada said. How can you, are you sleeping? You're not attending Bhagavatam class. So that means, are you not a devotee? Prabhupada question like that. Yeah. Prabhupada has crystal clear process. If one wants to become a devotee, then he has no choice. He has to chant the japa, he has to attend Bhagavatam class. That is the key. Bhagavatam is the key. I can tell from my practical experience. 2008 or end of 2009, when I started attending Bhagavatam class in the morning to Dattatreya Prabhu, before that at our Old Bridge property. So that's where it started. I was attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. From that day, I haven't stopped. Pretty much every day is going on. Reading and hearing Prabhupada lectures from those verses. This is what Bhagavatam brings the conditioned soul, fallen soul, like me, to the lotus feet of. Please mute your lines. Acharya's lotus feet. That's what it does. It has that, because it is non-different from Supreme Lord. So that's like Prabhupada elaborately explains in this 42940 and 12.3, especially 42940. Big purport. Clearly is laying out not just hearing in the morning in the association of devotees, but throughout the day you have to hear. The way I used to read, nowadays a little bit less sometimes, though sometimes may not be. But those days, first few years, especially, so read verse 2 or 3 verses, but we bring it up throughout the day, bring it up again and again. If you forget, go back to the verse, read it again, and look at the purport. What are the important aspects? What I have to change in the life? This is what reading means. Not parrot reading. Yes, in the beginning, fine, but we have to change to the next level. Sravanata has to come to Varana, then Smarana, then Smaranavastha, then Sampatti, Samadhi and Sampatti. This is what Nectar of Instruction, verse number 8, it is explaining. And that's why this hearing is very important. So in that verse, Parikshit Maharaj is quoting 284, Sraddhaya Nityam, Grunanti Swa, it has to be taken in the heart. Whatever you take in the heart, then you want to do it every day without fail. Without fail. Not a single day should go by without hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, without reading Srimad Bhagavatam. We should hear in the association. We should also self-reading. So every day, few verses. Don't try to finish the book. That is not that. Read only few verses, but concentratedly. What is it trying to tell you? What I can take on a day-to-day basis, what I'm going to change, how I'm going to improve. So those are the things Bhagavatam is telling us. One who's attentively hearing, that's what he will do. Otherwise, we'll just mechanically finish the book, but not really practicing what Bhagavatam is teaching us. So, and the other words also we quoted with 1 point attention. Tasmad ekena manasa also we quoted. So, Bhagavatam satvatam pati. Srotavasya kirtan smartavasya deya pujan. These. There also Prabhupada quoted. One who wants to attain Krishna, then he has to do these 4 things. Attentively, absorbedly, every day. He has to do these 4 things. So that's these 2 verses are prominent verses at the beginning. Bhagavad Gita, look at the middle 6 chapters, you will see 7th chapter, the 10th chapter beginning, first verse, both verses quotes, Tasrunu, here, Bhuyev Mahavaho, Srunu me Paramam Bucha. Repeat again and again. 8th chapter, attaining that chapter also you will see. Tasmat Bhara Sarvatman, Srota Vesikit. Repeatedly, it's been Krishna is stressing itself in Bhagavad Gita. Pretty much every main key books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these 3, Nectar Devotion, Nectar Construction, all these key books has stressed on this hearing aspect. We are in any of that Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudi Sampradaya. Our focus and stress is on Bhagavat Vidya, which is Sravanam and Kirtanam. If we are not doing that, then we have a big hole in the process. I mean, we are not following because we are doing something else. So Japa chanted here, but also Bhagavatam has to be. This is meant to be. This is the association. This practice has to be followed. If we are not doing it till now, let's make it happen. From starting today, from tomorrow morning onwards, we have to attend. We have to make. I have a meeting. I have this. I have that. Yes, you have to adjust. We have to adjust. Anyway, our classes are early in the morning before 7 o'clock. If you sincerely pray, Krishna will make the even if you have production call or something. But you have to sincerely try to join. We can't miss it. If you miss it, we are going to miss this lifeboat. That's what will happen. And are we really want to miss it in this life? We want to take another lifetime? No, we don't have that luxury. So we should take it seriously to make sure not to miss. So that is the crux of today. Let's read a little bit and then. So Prabhupada has mentioned in many times throughout the memories of Prabhupada, you hear which so many times he's stressing again and again. So in Mayapur also, as Prabhupada was speaking in Hindi that time, devotees are walking away. Prabhupada said to the other devotees who are sitting, what are they doing? Tell them to come and sit here. When spiritual master is speaking, you must. Doesn't matter what, whether you understand or not understand. And this is what Prabhupada was given initiation for. So Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur saw Prabhupada was sitting in the front always without leaving like others. Others used to leave, but Prabhupada used to sit in the front and hear attentively. That is a yes, I will initiate this boy. Prabhupada. So that is why and Nectar Devotion also. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur stressed, and Prabhupada has mentioned in his class itself that this is my Guru Maharaj has mentioned to read this Nectar Devotion. So that's it. Please make it a point to read Nectar Devotion also, especially first 19 chapters. for initiation. At least it is there in my Guru Maharaj. If you want to get initiated, then we are supposed to complete at least part 1, which is up to chapter 19 or so that you understand what is devotion service means, what are the aspects of devotion service, why you need Guru, what is the seriousness of it. It is not a formality. So that if you don't read Nectar, you have no idea what you are going to do after initiation. You will do just along with everybody else, you will also go with the flow. But you really have no idea what it is. So that's why you have to concentrate on what Acharya's instruction essence is. So Prabhupada mentioned like that in many places throughout his classes. Anybody who's missing classes, not attending morning, one time, another devotee, I think Mahabuddhi Prabhu, no, Mahakratu Prabhu, he went to cut the fruits, Prabhupada service only. He missed the class. No, Prabhupada class. That anybody can do. Cutting fruits, this breakfast, this is not a big job. That anybody can do. You are supposed to be in the class. That's what Prabhupada said. So we have to adjust everything. Either you somehow or other you are hearing the class is going on, you are able to hear in that room, or you have to make you finish before or something. Somehow or the other you have to adjust to hear the class. It's very important. This is Prabhupada's Acharya's process. Principle has to be followed. Then only we get some result. Unless you satisfy Acharya, there is no way you are going to get Krishna. So that is not going to happen. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadat nagati kuto. There is no chance. And so that's why we have to follow what Prabhupada is giving. Then we can actually attain. So let's get into it. According to Srila Rupa Goswami, any book that gives enlightenment is the master of, in the matter of advancing in devotion service, is considered to be revealed scripture. Srila Madhvacharya has also defined revealed scriptures as referring to books such as Ramayana, Mahabharata, Purana, Upanishad, Vedanta, and any other literature written in pursuance of such revealed scriptures. What was he reporting? So this famous verse, Shruti Smriti Pranadi Pancharatriki Vidim Vina Ikantiki Bhakti Uppataiva Kalpate. So it must be according to these Shruti Smriti Pranadi. Smriti means these Puranas, Shruti means Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta Sutra, Upanishads. So both, everything has to be based on that. Anyone who doesn't follow that but do whatever he likes, then it is no more, it becomes chaos. Sometimes artificially trying to become a gopi or trying to gopi bhava club or trying to become, crying and tears rolling down, jumping, different things like thinking that I'm an ecstatic stage. Pour water on one bucket water, kick him on the face. Prabhupada said a few times when he saw in Pandal program or some people immediately coming and dancing and showing that he is in the pure devotion platform. So Prabhupada never allowed those artificially trying to come. That's why in the verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Namananda and Mahaprabhu's conversation is there, where he's asking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, what is the topmost thing to hear? Ramananda describes that hearing the Radha and Krishna's intimate pastimes. There in the purport, elaborate purport is there. One should not hear these pastimes unless one is in the liberated stage. So even if somebody has the other material aspects, he will be purified. But specifically in that one, because seeing what is there in today's in Kali Yuga, people's tendencies, that particular those chapters, as well Rasa Panchadhyaya, 10th canto, those chapters not to be read, not to be heard, unless you are in the rightly situated. Because our tendency will be in somewhere else. So that's why Prabhupada is writing elaborate purport on this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that particular verse, Ramananda Ray's conversation. So that's why we have to first practice sadhana bhakti properly before jumping on to the next step, trying to think that let me enter into Raganuga bhakti. No, we are not there yet. We are not on the spontaneous devotion to jump to those processes. So that's why it is Utpataya Kalpate. Anything which we are trying to do away from sadhana bhakti, when we are not there, then it's going to bring chaos. In the Skanda Purana, there is a statement, a person who is constantly engaged in reading literature, enunciating the cultivation of Vaishnava devotion service is always glorious in human society. And certainly Lord Krishna becomes pleased with him. A person who very carefully keeps such literature at home and offers respectful obeisance to it becomes free from all sinful reactions and ultimately becomes worshipable by the demigods. This is there in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, 12th canto, chapter 12. There's a verse, beautiful verse, 12, 12, 19 or 12, 12, 55. Let's see. I captured it. 12, 12, 59. Beautiful verse. This verse is giving the essence for us. Even if you read one verse, you can attain perfection. One line itself, you can attain perfection. So, and then after this verse, there are 7 or 8 verses describing what will be the result. Srimad Bhagavatam. Simply reading Srimad Bhagavatam, the fear is gone away, lamentation goes away. One can attain perfection. So, one who's, especially in the association of devotees, the Brahmana will get a purified intelligence. All the whole glory is almost 6 or 7 verses. Sota Goswami is described to Samakanda Rishis. What is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam? Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. या एतत् श्रावये नित्यं याम क्षणम् अमन्यधि श्लोकम् एकं तदर्थं वा पदं पदार्थम् एव वा श्रद्धावान् यो अनुसृणुयात् पुनाति आत्मानम् एव सः. One who with undeviating attention, that is the key. That is the key. Any verse, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna directly speaking. So no difference. But we have to have undeviated attention. We have to really go into deep into the message. Constantly recite the literature at every moment of every hour, as well as one who faithfully hears even one verse or a half a verse or a single line or even a half a line certainly purifies very self. Very clear. So that is how much important it is to read Srimad Bhagavatam. So, and then from here onwards, throughout this chapter, you'll see the glories. We can see that 59, I said 59. Yeah. See that one who hears Srimad Bhagavatam on Ekadasi or Dwadasi days is issued of long life. One who recites it with careful attention while fasting is purified of all sinful reactions. One who controls his mind, passes at the holy place of Pushkara, Mathura, Dwaraka, or make that place conscious, Vrindavan conscious, brings that any place, and studies the scripture will free from all fear. A person who glorifies this Purana by chanting or hearing it, all the demigod best all desirable. By studying this Srimad Bhagavatam, a Brahmana can enjoy the same honey, ghee, milk, the reverse. Enjoying by studying the hymns. A Brahmana who diligently reads the essential compilation of Purana will go to the supreme destination, which the Supreme Lord himself has herein described. A Brahmana who studies Srimad Bhagavatam achieves firm intelligence in devotion service. So in this way, it is clearly describing. So that's what we can see the same thing from Skanda Purana. So that's how we should read, we should hear and associate. It is also said to Narada Muni, my dear Narada, a person who writes Vaishnava literature and keeps such literature at home has Lord Narayana always residing in his house. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna, as it is explained. This is in the Canto 1, chapter 3, 29, verse number exact, verses like that. Krishna Swadam Upagate Dharma Gnana Divisa Kalonasta Samesa Purana Arko Dunodita. And Krishna left the planet. Srimad Bhagavatam arisen like a sun and removing all the darkness in the heart of the living entities. So, Dham Upagate Dharma Gnana Divisa. This is what Bhagavad Dharma enunciating, giving the whole aspect of Bhagavad Dharma. Sad Dharma, Sanatan Dharma, Bhagavad Dharma. That means whatever Bhagavatam is giving, what is Bhagavatam giving? Prema Pumardo Mahan. Pancham Purushartha. What is that? Pancham Purushartha is attaining Krishna Prema. And the verse and the purport, one of the verse, I think we're going to look maybe. Tattvavadis are looking for going back to Godhead, but their purport proposition, our devotees, we are looking at Pancham Purushartha. Doesn't matter whether we are in the material world or spiritual world. Attaining love of God. That is our Purushartha. Pancham, that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give, to come to that ecstatic love for Krishna, love of God. Pancham Purushartha. Not Chaturveda Purushartha is there, but Bhagavatam rejects all those. Dharma, the Kama, Moksha, Samaya Pratiksha. Dharma Projita Kaitava, Atra Paramo, Nirmat Saranam Satam. Kaitava means cheating, rejected. The second verse itself. So that's why it is very important to know this Pancham Purushartha. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, this is the verse, the one important verse, and the other one is 429:30. 12th canto, this is Bhumi Gita. There are 10 Gitas in Srimad Bhagavatam. One of them is Bhumi Gita. Bhumi Devi is praying, offering prayers. Beautiful verses. In that, this verse is important. 12th canto, 13th chapter, verse number 15, it is stated, Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy. Any person who has become attached in some way or the other to the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam cannot have any taste of reading any other literature. In other words, a person who has relished transcendental bliss of Srimad Bhagavatam cannot be satisfied with mundane writings. That's what happened. Once you go deep, that's what I just simply heard a few classes from Hariram Prabhu. It was so pointed. You can't go an inch out of what Prabhupada has to say. Not an inch. Anything you say, anything which is not given by Prabhupada, immediately point out. You used to chastise. You say instead of Vishnu Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti in the Tulsi Maharaj prayer. Then immediately, is it there in the book? Where are you chanting that? What is there in the book, you chant that. Don't add your things. So he was very particular. So that's what we have to follow. So he was speaking on Narada Muni's pastimes that time, canto 1 chapter. So from that point, I went home and I used to read again and again. So fascinated from Narada Muni's pastime, how he could get absorbed. Even the 4 months only was there with these Bhakti Vedantas. 4 months only. They left, mother passed away, but he could practice, he could attain Krishna. So that's what. If you follow simply the process, the same process, the chapter 5, we read, and if you attentively go deep and meditate, and then we can attain. But it requires a lot of attention. So a lot of introspection. But we are in the Bahirmukhi Bhakta. That's where the problem is. We are not Antarmukhi Bhakta. We are not searching really what we are doing. We are searching what is out there. Always external consciousness, not internal consciousness. So that is the problem. Then it takes lifetimes. So we have to decide we want to do that or we want to become a devotee, attain Krishna Prema in one life. So let's look at these two verses, which are prominent verses. So 12 to, we'll come to the other verses also. Chaitanya Charitamrita, many verses are there. Yeah, this verse. First, this verse we'll look at. This is the important purport. Canto 4, chapter 29, verse number 40. Or let's look at the verse which Prabhupada quoted first. 12:3:15, Bhumi Gita. Ya uttama sloka gunanuvada sangiyate avikshanam amangalagnam. That means supremely auspicious. Tan eva nityam srumayad avikshanam. Nityam means every day. Nitya means every day, constantly. Also, Krishna amalam bhaktim abhipsamana. With great attention, great relishment, one must take. The person who desires pure devotion service, desires, that is also we have to. When we pray, really, I want to engage in menial service, only pure devotion to our Acharya Parampara, to please them. Let me become a menial servant at the lotus feet of our Acharya Parampara. Let me please. Let my life be only to please them. That should be our desire. No other desire. That's what we have to pray for. We don't want anything else. First, pleasing. Because Acharya will take us. So take us where he is, wherever he is serving eternal. So we just need to please him. So that is our focus. So then everything will automatically come. Lord is running behind pure devotee. Then automatically, so we will be there with pure devotee. So what is that? Verse is there. Nirapeksham munim chantam nirvairam sarva bhuteshu. Uyet angri renubi. Lord himself is telling, I am being glorified all over the world, not because of my credit. It is because I am running behind taking the dust of my pure devotee. That's right. Then I am being glorified because of my pure devotees. Lord is giving all the credit to his pure devotees. And he is running. That's why Yasodhama is, Krishna is not interested in so much verse reciting prayers and whatnot, all others. But when Yasodhama takes sticks, Krishna wants to see that chastisement to pure devotee. So that's why he is running behind the pure devotees. So, and we have to run behind pure devotees as well. Then Krishna will be there. Otherwise, you can't catch Krishna. Krishna is very tricky. He's Tribhangi. You can't catch. You can't understand him. Neither we can catch him. But if we catch Acharya, that means you are catching Lord Nityananda Balaram's lotus feet and Srimad Radharani's lotus feet. Both are there. Guru's mercy means Guru is carrying those. Both are their mercy. Then Krishna cannot go anywhere. So So that's why we have to catch their lotus feet. The person who desires pure devotion service to Lord Krishna should hear the narrations of Lord Uttama Sloka's glories, activities. Udgata tamam iti uttama. That means beyond goodness, passion, ignorance is uttama sloka. The constant chanting of which destroys everything inauspicious. The devotee should engage in such listening in regular daily assemblies. See that point. Should engage in such listening in regular daily assemblies. That means every day. Can't miss a day. You can't miss a day. Yeah, if it's emergency, what can you do? At least we should try. We should try. And should also continue his hearing throughout the day. We have a problem hearing once a day itself is a problem. Now forget about throughout the day. Where is the question? That question doesn't even arise. So we can understand where we are there, where we are, where is our position. We have to fix. After hearing this, those who want pure devotion service on this call, then we better take it seriously. Not just hearing, but throughout the day, in between. You got to keep a Bhagavad Gita. Veda Vizar, you go on the internet, cell phone. Well, you go to restaurant, come back to office, look at a verse, read. Minutes. It takes 1 minute, 2 minutes. Read. Go back to work. Anyway, people get up, go here, coffee, tea. We don't drink coffee, tea anyway. You might as well read a book. Instead of chit-chatting, Prajalpa, read a book, read Bhagavatam. This is what we have to cultivate. This is all cultivation. Devotion service means cultivation. We have to cultivate a habit of reading, hearing, or put a Prabhupada lecture. You hear 2 minutes. We have to cultivate this habit. Everywhere, while brushing the teeth, while taking shower, either you are chanting or you are hearing. While doing service also, this has to go on. We have no attraction to hear from Prabhupada. That is the problem. That's why we can't go deep anywhere in sadhana. If we hear from Prabhupada, we make our life to hear from Prabhupada every day, then you have to, there is no other way. Prabhupada will make us disciplined. We have to be under the guidance of Acharya. Then we will be disciplined. Until that, discipline cannot come. By our own endeavor, discipline cannot come. But if we hear from Acharya, then discipline will automatically will come. So that's what we have to make that practice. For this verse to has to come in practice means we have to hear from Acharya. Then we'll do it. We'll be able to do it while being busy at work, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever, we'll be able to take it. So that is the key here. Should also continue his hearing throughout the day. Purport by Prabhupada. Since any topic related to Lord Krishna is auspicious and transcendental, the direct narration of Lord Krishna's own activities, political, non-political, is certainly supreme subject matter for hearing. The word Nityam here indicates regular cultivation. See that, cultivation. Because we don't, original consciousness is there, but right now it is covered with so much dirt and so many things, unwanted things. So unless you cultivate that habit, you have to remind somehow or the other, remind. So remind ourselves, oh, I have to hear from Prabhupada. Today I didn't hear. Somehow or the other, I didn't get a chance. We have to, that is a tonic. That is the real thing. And Prabhupada gives also different things along with it, how to control. Because we take so much time in eating, so much time in sleeping, so much time in so many shopping and whatnot. Prabhupada is very strict. He himself is strict. He is teaching by his own example. He doesn't need to be. He is already pure. He doesn't need to be. One time he was given honey. He used to take morning walk. He said 3 things, I think. Morning walk, reading his chanting and reading his books and hearing, and then Ayurveda medicine. These 3 things every day he will do without fail. Ayurveda medicine, they used to, then he used to put Nanda Kumar, he put more honey, very good, high quality honey. He said, what did you put? He said honey. Oh, it is intoxicating. Put only 1/4 teaspoon of honey. That's what he said. Another time, one day he made paneer sabji. Then Prabhupada took it like it, and the next day again he made it. Prabhupada took one bite or half bite of one paneer. The third day he didn't even touch it. Then he said, don't make, only once a week. Otherwise, you'll have sex desire. That's what Prabhupada said. Prabhupada is very particular. It is not for him, he is not interested in anything. But for us, there is a problem. Because immediately we captured by my eyes right there. If you don't control, we go on, whatever we come, yes, prasadam is our only enjoyment, fine. But we have to draw some line somewhere at some point of time. So to control, to practice, enthusiasm has to be there in service. Attention has to be there in hearing, reading. That means you can't go astray. You can't go run with even with prasadam also. You can't eat till here. Prabhupada said praladam. Okay, you can eat, but don't eat till here. Then you can't chant, you can't sleep, you can't read, you can't hear, nothing you can do. You'll just sit down, lay down. So that's not what we want to do. Then we can't actually attain Krishna. It is not easy to attain Krishna. Krishna is very clever. So 429, 39, 40. Yatra Bhagavata Rajan Sadavo Vishada Asaya Bhagavat Gunan Katana Sravana Vyagra Chetasa. Vyagra means lion. With full deep consciousness. Tasmin Maham Mukarita Modovi Charitra Piyusha Sesha Sarita Parita Sravanti Te E Pibanti Avitrisho Nrupagada Karnai. Means heart, ears has to be deeply attached with a great attention and submission. That's how hearing should be. Tana Sprasanti Yasana Trut Bayasoka Moha. Very important, elaborate purport. Please pay attention. My dear king, in the place where pure devotees live, following the rules and regulations and thus purely conscious and engaged with great eagerness, not eagerness, great eagerness in hearing, chanting the glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead, in that place, if one gets a chance to hear their constant flow of nectar, which is exactly like the waves of a river, one will forget the necessities of life, namely hunger and thirst, and become immune to all kinds of fear, lamentation, and illusion. Have you seen this? Have you read it? It is there in Chaitanya Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Lord Nityananda was dancing 3 months. No eating, no sleeping, nothing. Continuously. They have no idea what's going on in the material, in the rest of the world. That Lord Nityananda was dancing, ecstatic, in Raghav Panihati, there in Chaitanya Bhagavat. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also discussed places. Vakreshwar Prabhu, Vakreshwar Pandit was dancing 72 hours, 3 hours. Nothing, no other things. Just simply dancing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan is going on, dancing. So that is what here we see the same thing. One can come to that state if he has this ear with constant flow of nectar, with great attention, great eagerness. Let's look at the purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Amazing purport. Prabhupada ki jai. The cultivation of Krishna consciousness is possible where great devotees live together. That is the first point. The association is key. As per the association where it is described, the absorption for Prabhupada Acharya's principle is there. That is what the real association. That is where we have to concentrate. That is where we have to get. And constantly engage in hearing. Please mute your lines, please. And chanting the glories of the Lord in a holy place like Vrindavana, or we have to make our home like a holy place, the Vrindavan conscious. There are many devotees constantly engaged in chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. If one gets the chance to hear from pure devotees in such a place, allowing the constant flow of the river of nectar to come from the mouths of the pure devotees, then the cultivation of Krishna consciousness becomes very easy. So that's what is the key. So that's why Srimad Bhagavad Ardhanam Asayo Rasika. What is it? Snigdasya. I'm forgetting. I always forget this verse. The last 2 lines. This is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela. There. Where is that? He certainly rises above the bodily conception. When one is in the bodily conception, that means advanced devotee also, that's what I'm talking about. That was clearly quoting. This is Madhya Leela. When one is in a bodily conception, he feels the pangs of hunger, thirst, fear, lamentation. But when one is engaged in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, he transcends the bodily conception. You can see Prabhupada like last 6 months, a year, pretty much hardly ate anything, hardly drank anything. Simply he went on. He was going to giving Bhagavatam purports, translation he was giving till 10th canto, chapter 13 also. Prabhupada did till last minute, translating. Still discussing, he was still giving instructions to devotees. So that is a practical example how one can come to that stage. That is the reality. So we can understand from practical examples. The word Bhagavat Gunanukatana Sravana Vyagra Chetasa, meaning always eager. To find the place where the glories of the Lord are being heard and chanted. So that's what I'm telling. That is the association we have to be absorbed in. And doesn't matter even if we didn't sleep properly 6 hours. No, we have to wake up, we have to hear, then after that you sleep. So we have to make it a point. We can't miss it. We can't miss it. Srimad Bhagavatam cannot be missed. A businessman is always, Prabhupada gives example, a businessman is always very eager to go to the place where business is translated. Oh, please keep your lines. Otherwise, we can't concentrate. No one can hear. Always eager to find the place where the glories of the Lord are being heard and chanted is significant in this verse. A businessman is always very eager to go to the place where business is transacted. Similarly, a devotee is very eager to hear from the lips of the liberated devotees. As businessman, we always discuss one businessman to another. What you will discuss about the business, how to expand, how to get more profit, how to sell. And what is when two devotees come together, how to improve our chanting, how to please to Prabhupada, what service we have, how we can do. So that's how to execute devotion service. So that is our business. Just like businessman is doing his business, our business is always how to please Krishna, how to please Acharya, as well first Acharya, then Krishna will naturally be pleased. So that's what we have to do. As soon as one hears the glories of Lord from the liberated devotees, yeah, this morning I was telling you that Prabhupada singled out Sarthi Mata, Vrindavan, hundreds of plus devotees, this and other Damodar Mandir. This reception is not for me. All this reception is for all my boys and girls who are preaching Krishna consciousness. Based on my instruction, they are fearlessly going and preaching. Sarthi, so very pleased with your service. She was preaching with Vaikuntha, her husband. Prabhupada said that. So even though she was singled out, but she was very happy. At least Prabhupada is remembering her service. Prabhupada is recognizing that. Not so pleased with the other things, what she did, offering so many gifts. But Prabhupada is supremely pleased with her service of preaching, service of distributing Krishna to others. So that is very important service, Prabhupada's, because that is his Guru service. So that's why it is a supremely important life and soul for Prabhupada. And for us also. So whatever Prabhupada's service is, for us it has to become our life and soul. Then we can actually really live with the bliss internally. Externally, there may be so many things may go on, but we don't feel any agitation for that. So where we are, yeah, immediately becomes impregnated with Krishna consciousness. This is confirmed in another verse, about 3:25-25. This is a famous verse. Lord Kapila is describing Mother Devati. Satam prasangat mama virya samvido bhavant hrit karna rasayana joshanad apavarga vartam shraddha bhakti ratit anukramishrati. Step by step. When you're in the right associate. Satam. It must be. Sadhu Bhakta, Sadbhakta. So many places, verses are there repeatedly. Not anybody, not any devotee, not just any devotee. It has to be Sadhu Bhakta means Acharya's principles. Bhagavad Dharma, Sab Dharma. Wherever it that mentioned, that it means exactly following what Krishna is telling. Exactly what Acharya is telling. That is what the real association. That is the concept. Then Shraddha Bhakti Ratir Anukramishyati. Sadhana Bhakti to Vaidhi. To Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, very quickly, very rapidly will progress. If we are in the right association and we are concentratedly hearing and trying to put that in practice on a day-to-day basis, then otherwise simply we'll go on with the flow. But no, rest of the 99% population, that's what they are doing. They are going with the flow of blindness. Where they are going, they have no idea where they are going to go. We don't want to do the same thing blindly, simply following without a proper goals in our life. So this month, what is our goal? We need to know. This month, what are we trying to achieve? This year, what are we trying to achieve? Where we are in the last year, where we are going to go this year? What books are we going to read? How many lectures are we going to hear? Where is that goal? If we don't have that goal, please make sure that let's put that goal. Prabhupada expected all of us to do something. What is the difficulty? Do something. Do something. Prabhupada, that's what he used to say to Srutakirti. So we have to do something. We all have a lot to do. Less time is there. We have a lot to do. And we have to make sure that we put the goals in our life, spiritual goals, material goals, anyway we put. Even though we don't put, wife will put, our children will put, somebody or other will put in our life. But we have to make our effort to put spiritual goals in life and make sure that we we get we finish those goals, not just simply put the goals and we can't do anything. Again, next month, again, same thing. No, we can't do that. We should be with some attention. So that is the key. So we have to do something for Prabhupada. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and to the heart. Okay, if you are a beginner, okay, first one round you are chanting. If you are not chanting, you better start with one round. That is your goal. If you are chanting one round, then next 4 rounds, like that. Everyone can have a goal. It doesn't need to, oh, this is only for initiate, this is only for second initiate, this is only for advanced. No, for everybody. For everybody, we can have a goal. We are still for perfection. There is so many levels, so we can go on increasing. We have to perfect our chanting. We have to perfect our reading. We have to perfect our hearing. We have so much improve our service. If we don't have goal, then we will not do anything. No improvement in anything. We'll just simply barely finish 16 rounds somehow or the other. Barely read one verse, two verse, done with the day. Next day comes. Same thing will go on whole year. No, we don't want to do that. We want to really cultivate Krishna consciousness in our heart. That means we have to do really something seriously. Tasrunuvan supatan vicharana paro muchet naraha. We want to become purified of the material consciousness by seriously hearing, seriously reading. Sutva anupatito dhyato adruto. Adruto means real eagerness in the heart. Anumodito. Sadhyo punad sadharma. Repeatedly, this hearing is mentioned in whole class. We can discuss many classes just hearing only. So that's so much. Because if hearing is not there properly, no other limbs will be done properly. Neither chanting will be done properly, nor our service will be done properly. That's where the problem is. We can't do any attentive service because we are not hearing properly. We don't know what Prabhupada wants. Each and every service. You look at garland, you look at the deity worship, you look at Guru Puja, you look at anything. We have no interest. Real interest is not there. We just finish service. But that's not real service. Real service, attention, absorption, right absorption. What Acharya wants, how he wants, the Guru Puja to be done, how Kirtan to be done, how dressing to be done, everything you have to follow Acharya. That will come when you hear from Prabhupada every day. When you read Prabhupada, then we will know. Otherwise, we have no idea what to be done. So, because Paramatma has to give revelations, what suppose how he wants us to do. Otherwise, we have no idea. We have no qualification either. So, one is training is there, but more than training, Paramatma has to reveal it is a personal connection, personal touch. Your Guru Puja means it is personal, you are directly interacting with Prabhupada, you are offering how it should be done. Same thing with the Lord, deity worship, serving devotees, everything is so personal. That means you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again, same thing. It cannot be monotonous service. There should be some bhava in it. There should be some improvement. You have to give pleasure to the Lord and Acharya. How it can be done if you don't hear properly? So that's where the problem is, hearing only. So we have to fix this hearing process. And the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and to the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation. Clearly, Prabhupada is making the point clear, very clear. And therefore, his speed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotion service began. 3:25:25. In the association of pure devote, one becomes attached to hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. That is our business. That is the prime business. In this way, one can cultivate Krishna consciousness. And as soon as the cultivation is advanced, one can become faithful to the Lord, devoted to the Lord, and attached to the Lord. Thus, one can very quickly attain full Krishna consciousness. The secret of success. This is Prabhupada's many places you will see. Secret of success. What is secret? Cultivation of Krishna consciousness is hearing from the right person. This is what it is. So that is where the secret of success is. A Krishna conscious person is never disturbed with the bodily necessities, namely eating, sleeping, mating, defending. When you have this cultivation, is there, then you are not disturbed. One day you may not get prasadam, one day, so nothing is available, even at home. So what to do? You will not be agitated. You will go on. Because if you are attracted to chanting and hearing, you will go on. You will fast, fine. We'll do another day. We'll eat another day. Even if we don't sleep, also we'll be fine. Only if we are attentive to the hearing and chanting, these bodily necessities will not make us agitated at all. Otherwise, we'll be agitated. So when prasadam is finished, oh, we'll become so agitated. How come prasadam is not there? But one who's attached to hearing and chanting, he is not agitated with anything. If it is not there, okay, that is Krishna's errand. What can be done? So we'll wait till the evening. So we'll not be agitated with anything. The agitation is there because when hearing and chanting is not proper, then only we'll not cooperate. We'll be always agitated. We'll find faults. We'll do all kinds of things, prajalpa and whatnot. But so if we hear it, then everything will be right. So that is the first section. Already 8 or 2. We haven't even touched other sections. But hearing is the key. That is the essence. We look at pretty much in every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, this hearing is stressed. Bhagavad Gita is stressing. Nectar of instruction is stressing. Nectar of devotion we're reading. Here also it is stressed. So let us all take it up, this hearing process, to please our His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, so that we can actually do something. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nectar of Devotion Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhaktavan ki jai. Any reflections, comments, corrections? You can take for a few minutes. Next one ki jai. Anyone has any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the class, Prabhu. I have actually 2 questions, so if somebody else has, they can go in consideration of time. So my question is, first one is regarding reading. Of course, we understand reading is so important. And Prabhupada's instruction is read it scrutinizingly. That means we need to study, not casually.
Right.
Right? Now, Prabhu, is, if I can make an analogy of when we used to be kids. Now, as a child, there isn't that much interest to study. And study is something like a punishment, so to say. You'd rather be playing cricket or some sport or doing something, some fun activity.
Yeah.
Studies was seen as, oh God, I have to study. It was like forced and compelled. Now, of course, we've grown up, Prabhu, and but that mentality hasn't changed. Only what really we find enjoying. So in absence of that taste, to at least inculcate some discipline is, as you said, make a vow, keep a goal. That every day I'll study 10 verses. I'll read 10 verses, sorry, not study. I'll read half an hour, whatever. Some kind of a goal you set for yourself. Now, the thing is that in itself can, how do you say, oh, I finished my quota. So how do you break that? Okay, fine. You started with, 10 verses a day and you're doing it religiously. But then how not to get complacent or, okay, I've done my bit. I'm doing 10, better than doing 0. So how to then actually move to the level of scrutinizingly study?
Yeah, good question. Very important question. I think it's just because of the association only. If you are in the right association, you are hearing, and as per from Prabhupada also, you have to hear 5 or 10 minutes a day. Then the discipline will come. You'll make it really attentive and absorbed reading. Means absorbed reading, and then you try to put in practice in day-to-day basis, even the practical things. You'll start doing things which we used to. As a devotee, also, we don't know many things, but as soon as we hear, so we just heard about paneer. We just heard about how things sometimes it is intoxicated. Then what do we do about it? That means we better reduce it gradually. The intake of things which are not allowing us to actually be actively engaged in service, but we become a little bit lazy or become dull in our sadhana. Then so we have to control those habits. If we hear from Prabhupada, then you will hear some memories and hear from Prabhupada lectures. 10 minutes, 15, whatever. But here with attention, yes, then we'll be able to do it every day. Obviously, there's supposed to be groups of reading, but it is not practical because one day somebody joins and another day somebody doesn't join. Then it doesn't. Then you have to wait for the group, to discuss. And some places it is happening regularly attend to, but it needs some serious study. Either you are in the group, but the morning class is very important. Morning Bhagavatam class, if you are in the right association, right group, seriously, we are going deep in the study, and then after that also, rest of the day we have to remember what we heard in the morning. Otherwise, it becomes practical, not doing anything about it clearly, basically. So that's why we have the reminders, like we have these clickers. You have to have the book. Some reminders has to be there, everywhere, wherever we go. So we have to have the reminders. Then it will help us. Oh, I forgot to read today. I forgot to chant more today. I forgot to hear from Prabhupada today. Reminder has to be there. So even if we miss, we practice like that. Even if we don't do properly, then after certain practice, then we will come to the, at least 1, 2 hours, 3 hours of reading, hearing will go on. Right? It's not possible. Yeah, that's all I can say. The discipline has to come from Prabhupada, and we have to be right association hearing. We have to make it happen. So
So
I've been stressing for last at least for few months. Chanting means 4 to 6, it has to happen. There is no other way about it. Before 6, chanting has to be finished. Period. That's it. No matter what. Once in a while, fine, emergency. But otherwise, it has to be finished. Then Bhagavatam, we have to read ourselves, we have to hear. That has to be done. Then rest of the day, fine, even if you don't hear, read. Then at least you have this concentrated japa, concentrated reading and hearing. Then rest of the 22 hours, you can be in a proper conscious. You have a proper lens in seeing things. At office, wherever we are. If you don't have this particular concentrated absorption in japa and hearing, rest of the day, just go on any day, just like any other thing. We have no real attention of Krishna in wherever we are working or business or whatever we do. So that's where the key is. So if you fix the first problem in the morning, then rest of the day problem will be fixed. Then we'll be reminded, we'll be using. So make it a point. It is for everybody. While being in the bathroom, what are we doing? Brushing, shaving. But during that time, what are we doing? Are we hearing? Are we doing kirtan? Are we chanting? We should hear. If you're not doing, we better put that in the practice. So these things, there is time. Nobody can complain that I don't have time. Even half an hour or 20 minutes, at least we are in the bathroom. During that time, if we hear Prabhupada class done, we are getting purified. Externally, things are going on, but internally, we are in the Krishna conscious. This is how Prabhupada trained us. We always thinking of Krishna wherever we are, whatever external things may go on. Then everything will, then gradually will fix our life. Wherever we have time, immediately we put, either we hear class, we read, or we do something while driving. So we hear a class. We don't waste time. And we'll always look to improve our Krishna consciousness. And we'll try to improve our service. So we'll try to give Krishna to others also, think about others. More we'll think about others more than us. Because when we take responsibility of others for Prabhupada, then Krishna will take responsibility to change our life. That's what will happen. But more we think about ourselves day after day, then actually Krishna cannot pick us up. That is another way where actually Krishna and Acharya can pick us up from the slumber. When we are really doing something for others, once in a while, but really endeavoring. So, nacha tasmat kachin me serving the Vaishnavas in the next section is there in the same chapter we are reading. So that's what serving Vaishnavas means. Devotee, obviously, and then also making others devotees. That lens will be there. If morning that is absorbed, then the lens will be there. Wherever you go, in the office, you distribute prasadam, you will discuss, wherever like-minded or some spark is there, you will discuss, you will see, and you will attempt, try to, spark that fire. Mm, yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Gopal Vijay.
Hare Krishna.
Someone else has a question?
Uh, Prabhu, so, listening to Prabhupada, of course, we understand what the importance and how urgent it is. But then there are, initiated devotees. So there is also the responsibility to listen, read from your Gurudev, right?
Yes.
So both will go hand in hand, correct? You can't do either one or the other.
Yeah. You can do it, still you can manage. But for sure, the chanting, as I told, 4 to 6 minutes chanting, we have to finish it. And hear from the association, that has to be done. So every day. And then rest of the time, you don't need to hear live. So then you adjust your Guru Maharaj lecture. There's time. Yeah, I can tell you, if you seriously look for it, you will get the time. Or driving or in the train or some other. You're drinking, juice or whatever, eating. What are we doing? Eating. During eating, your class. Prabhupada used to hear the Krishna book or Chaitanya Charitamrita. While massage also, this thing used to go on. So like that, Prabhupada never wasted his time. So we have to find the ways. Then we'll get it. We can hear from Prabhupada, we can hear from Guru also, and devotees also. All these things will happen. Only to adjust. So prioritize it slowly and gradually. If you haven't done it, then okay, slowly start somewhere, then gradually increase and increase. But be consistent, at least minimum, and then maximum. Yes, half an hour at least, half an hour to 1 hour hearing and reading. Gradual that has to be increased. Attentive hearing will be there, but sometimes multitasking will go on. That's fine, but at least better than something, better than zero, not doing anything about it. Because problem is we are engrossed 10 hours, 12 hours. We are with outside people, materialistic condition, and we are engrossed in so much passion and ignorance. Then how we are going to purify that? Unless we have absorbed chanting and hearing and reading with attention, then we can't purify it. The thoughts and keep on again, those desires will keep on going in the heart. You can't purify the heart. Not with we don't have that real seriousness in this cultivation of hearing and chanting. Ravanam and Kirtan.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Gopal Vijay.
Jai Prabhu.
Anyone else? Reflections, comments? This is the
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
yes,
Dhanwad Prabhuji. Very nice class. Krishna Prabhuji. So like just I want to see like you see the hearing, right?
Yeah.
What are the symptoms of the sincere hearing, or how you see the hearing effective? Or really you are hearing or you are not hearing? Because hearing means like just how you see the really the hearing is the serious, or it's just the hearing, just the namesake hearing?
Yeah, important question. We can look at in different angles, pretty much in every aspect we can look at. First is not wasting time. Okay, is chanting. Either is inside chanting or currently is not just 16 rounds above. That is one aspect. Another aspect is always looking to improve his service. He doesn't keep doing the same mistakes. And he's always taking instruction from others. Doesn't matter whether junior or senior. If somebody is better, doing better nicely, then we learn from him. Doesn't matter whether we are senior or junior. We are hearing attentively, then we are looking where to improve. Always looking to improve. So whether it's cooking, garland, any service you do, If you are not doing it, you are doing the same mistakes over and over again. That means you have to ask the input from others. You are constantly thinking that I am doing great. Then there is no scope for it. That means our hearing is not perfect. So if you are not improving, doing the same thing, repeated mistakes, that means there is a problem in our hearing. Period. So we are not chanting the rest of the 16 rounds is enough. Mala katham. The rest of the time we are not chanting. Hearing is not attentive. Period. All these are clear, very clear. Because if you are here with proper attention, then you will concentrate. Because Prabhupada is again and again is repeatedly chastising for not doing things properly. Kitchen, I see regularly every day. Repeatedly, I'm telling Baba, this cannot be done. When you are entering the kitchen has to be cleaned properly. Tabletop has to be clean. When you are cutting, nothing should fall down. Your feet cannot touch it. Hair cap has to be there. We don't hear from Prabhupada, and where is our, we don't know how to do service. We go on just like that. It cannot happen. This is the first instruction you look at from Prabhupada, from Jadurani Mataji and others. Prabhupada clearly instructed how to do cooking, how to be clean. But we don't want to follow. So that is, I can't keep things open everywhere. Rata is there everywhere. Everywhere फैला हुआ है. ये क्या है? ये cooking है और कुछ है? Cooking means you do organizedly, peacefully organized, done. It is done nicely. We don't know, we have to practice it. Okay, do only few things, but do it systematically, organizedly. Otherwise, you'll do something or the other. Things won't happen. So that's why it needs some attention. One service only we do, but if the hearing is not proper, then you can't do nothing. Not a single service we can do with proper improvement. We'll go on, not changing. We'll just go on with it. That's why hearing is the key. Hearing is the key. Because Prabhupada brings the discipline in hearing. Guru brings discipline in our services. If you hear it with attention, you have to remember what Guru is telling. That's what hearing means. Rest of the day and rest of the month, it is very clear. At least I am remembering repeatedly, my Guru Maharaj telling, read Prabhupada books, read Prabhupada. Last 2 years he's been stressing. Before also he stressed. For initiation, we can't even get initiated if you don't read minimum books. There are almost 7 or 8 or 10 books. At least 2 or 3 we don't read. No, we can't get it. We can't even pass it. Nowadays it's even more serious. He's repeatedly telling. He himself is reading 10th canto now. Bhakti Vaibhav is doing. He doesn't need to. He has already done 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. But he's teaching. Prabhupada is teaching. Gurus, all the spiritual masters are doing. But the problem is with our consciousness, we are lack. We are not following what Guru is doing. How much? Guru is so busy with so many things. They have so many responsibilities, so many disciples. How much they can have to manage. But still they get time to chant, they get time to worship the deity. Everything they do with so much, because organized. We have to organize our life. That means we have to have a goal. We have to balance our life. We have to adjust. So we have to see where the gaps are, where the time is there. We have to put it. Put Krishna concept principles. Then we can fix it. So that's why Prabhupada established these temples, these platforms, so that we all have to, it is to do with collective engagement. This is collective cultivation. So we all have a lot to improve. And so that is what hearing means, all these things. We are always looking for service. When is service? And nobody is asking where is service. Who is asking for service? Very few are interested in service. They think I'm already doing great. Then where is the question of looking for service, looking for improvement? So that means hearing is not there properly. That's where the problem is. Is that clear, Jagadish Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, very nicely explained. Thank you, Prabhuji.
At least that's what I'm seeing in my life itself. A long way to go, and we don't have time. I'm already 47 plus. So we don't know how long. It could be days and months. We don't know. Then where is the seriousness? We have already wasted enough life, enough years. Then we have to seriously practice it before time comes. There's a lot to improve everywhere. Pretty much, I can't finish my cooking in time. I can't finish and dressing in time. So many things are there lacking. So we really have to cry. Really have to cry. That's what we have to do. We have to really cry to Prabhupada and Acharya and give me intelligence, give me strength. I have no capacity, no qualification, no strength. Do something, please give me something. Then if you do that, hopefully after day, one day, Acharya will shower his mercy. So that's what we have to do. So Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, with that we will stop already 8:22. So can go on with our chanting and hearing. Before sleeping also we should make that point. We should read something, we should hear something, at least chant 6 ashtakam, if not samsara prayers. So that when we wake up, we are in the right consciousness. And then we pick up the beats right away without wasting. Don't open altars, don't open, do the aratis. Finish the chanting business first. We can do after anyway, as people have to go to office, cook and offer, fine, that's fine. But during that, you can hear class or something. Then what chanting has to be, that is the first principle. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be supremely pleased if we finish our proper chanting in the morning. So that should be our key focus. Then Sangha, all the congregation everywhere, all over the whole world, congregation gets improved. We have these two things, chanting and hearing properly, then we can do so much distribution of Krishna. We ourselves will be properly active Krishna conscious and we will make others also into proper Krishna conscious. So that's where everything lies. Okay, let us offer our obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees on this forum and also the all over the world. We can conclude.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnava Jai Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.